All right, ladies and gentlemen, traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. Similar to yesterday, we're checking in here with another solid day, man. Craziness in the markets right now, in the penny stocks, and as well in stock BTCT, which was a stock that had Bitcoin related news that went absolutely insane. It was another fantastic day in the markets, right? So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the entries and setups that I took. We're going to talk about how I found these stocks today. We're going to talk about how I managed risk on this huge moving stock here, BTCT, which went all the way to $17. We're going to talk about the penny stocks and if they may continue. But before we do, just remember our disclaimer, all right? Remember that day trading is risky business. A lot of people out there are having a hard time, so take it slow. Utilize simulators, utilize small cash accounts, practice, improve before going all out, before getting aggressive. Remember, my results are not the typical results of the average trader. All right. Remember that the risk is real. And if you don't know what you're doing, it's very likely that you will lose. So take the time, go slow, become experienced and competent before getting aggressive. All right. Other than that, remember the live stream and recaps are never an invitation to copy trade. Copy trading does not work here. It's all about learning the strategy and understanding it. Lastly, I do not invest for my subscribers. So be careful of fake accounts. I will never message you first. All right. With that being said, let's talk about it. So we got FOXO and BTCT. Those are the top two. FOXO, they made a whopping $7,700 on this stock here. Guys, this thing went from 91 cents all the way up to 130, giving us a serious sort of almost 45-50% move just into the open alone. Absolutely impressive, absolutely crazy. Now, this isn't the biggest move we have seen. So today I noticed something, right? Today we'll talk about that. Today I noticed that in order for me to really make real money here, like real money, I have to use big share size relative to the stock that I'm trading. And so this stock FOXO was moving well, fitted my criteria, and I was using fair share size. I was using, 20, 30, 40,000 shares in and out. Now, in comparison to stock BTCT, on this one, I was just using 1,300 shares and 500 shares. It's all relative, but if I was to use that same share size relative to FOXO, I'd be getting in and out with just about 8-10,000 shares. So I did not go all out on size on BTCT. This is something I have to overcome if I'm going to be making $10, $15, $20,000 on this type of stock instead of just 2K. And tomorrow I'm up for the challenge. I'm up to the task. So I'm hoping tomorrow that we get a stock between 5 and 10 or 15 and 20 that goes crazy so that I can come on here and continue to work towards being my best self. And what that'll look like is me buying 5,000 shares at one time. And I will be up or down 5,000 at one time in one trade. But if I can be accurate in the overall picture of the move, especially early, I'll position myself to dominate, and that's how I can be up 20, 30,000 on a stock like this. So I know what needs to be done. Now it's a matter of following through and being disciplined towards that. So anyhows, all right, so FOXO, just like every other day when we come in, we check out our Momo Pro scanner. FOXO, this was one of the hot stocks that was moving. It's here on the popular section of the scan. You guys can see I have it here pulled up, checking news. At one point it sold off. I was checking to make sure there was no offering. And so if we come on down here and enlarge our screen, FOXO at the time I think was and it sold off quite a bit. I don't even know if it's still up here. At the time it was continuation and it gave a pretty good move. Let me check the percentage right now. FOXO. It's up 39%, so we'd have to scroll down quite a bit to find it here on this list. But yeah, earlier in the morning, we had less stocks, less noise, and there was only a couple of stocks that were really holding up and that were strong, right? So FOXO was on our list for continuation. versus yesterday's levels, versus yesterday's closing price, we moved up some more. If you guys will recall from yesterday's recap, this thing gave an opportunity not once, but twice, and then a third time, and now today a fourth time. Will it keep going tomorrow? I don't know, but it was on our watch list because of that. And so coming into the open, you guys will see that it really gapped down a little bit here, right? We had a low of 94 initially, and this thing opened up at 91 and then gave a massive green candle from 91 all the way to 110. And watching this here is when I realized, okay, this is going to be the stock of the day, because we had 2, 3, 4 others, and sometimes we're never sure which one is going to be the strong one. But after seeing this candle here, I'm like, hey, time to get locked in, time to get involved. And so if I pull up my live trading archive here to show you guys a few of the quick trades that I took today. Let's pull it up here. Actually, I think this one. There we go. So similar to yesterday, I'm using massive size. I'm getting in and out very actively, very quickly, right? Very actively and very quickly. And I ranks and repeat. I'm managing risk by cutting the trades for tight stops, tight losses, and sometimes I'm cutting the trade fast if the stock isn't going up quick enough to my liking. And as a result, sometimes I do sell quickly and then it goes without me, but it's part of how I'm managing risk here with the hyper scalping style. Actively getting in, out. So right here, I'm going to jump in, I believe at 4, watching the level at 4 here. And, let's see how well this bounces. So from 4, we get to 6. And you guys can see that in that spread right there, I'm looking to take the 1 cent. And 1 cent, every penny with 20,000 shares will be $200. I think at one point, I even went up in share size some more. So I'm going to jump back in here again. And this is essentially me looking for the double bottom on the 1-minute chart, right? We had a low of the last candle at 6. We're currently at 5 and 4. Plus or minus 1 cent. We're looking for that double bottom. Hey, can we bounce? This thing bounces up. I skipped forward. This thing bounced up to, we got to go back. This thing bounced up right here. So I'm in at 5. We can go back. So I'm going to buy it right at 5 around this area here. This thing is going to bounce up all the way to 9. So I still didn't do what I was supposed to do in terms of adding. I didn't add like how I was supposed to add. I told myself to add. So there's something for me to work on still. But just like that, we're adding $400, $500, and we're ranking and repeating over and over and over throughout the course of the day on FOXO and some of the other stocks. So now, and you guys will see it's like the numbers slowly going up, slowly going up, slowly going up throughout the course of the day. Now, as we got to the backside where the uptrend was over, you guys will see that I stopped trading it and it just sold off. And that was the right move. We started to downtrend, and that was it for me. Now, FOXO, great move. But today I think was more so about BTCT. Right, so BTCT, this is, again, coming off the Momo scans. I think this one came a little later in the day. I don't remember if we had this one. I can double check. I don't remember if we had this one right away. Let me check the chat room here. Alerts. Actually, we did have this one. So this one was also on the watch list early here. BTCT, you guys will see it right here, posted at 9:07 a.m. Relentless. How do you know that these stocks can give a move before the day is even started, before the market open? So again, coming back to the scanner here, we're looking for something very specific, right? When it comes to looking for stocks. One is the percentage gain, and we can come over here to the above $1 filter. 1 is for the percentage gain, 2 is for the volume, and then 3 is for the float, right? Those are like the top 3 things in terms of me determining if a stock is worthy of trading. Hey, it's up a fair percentage, let's say 25%, 50%, 80%, 90%, right? The stock is up 1, which means it's on the top of everyone's scans, right? That's the first thing. Second, hey, how's the volume? The volume is really high, which means people are not only noticing it, but they're also trading it. The stock is liquid. This means I can go and buy and sell and get instant fills without my order sitting for minutes at a time and lagging. The float, shares available for the public to trade, is at 2.6 million. There's 2.6 million available for the public to trade, and those shares have been rotated so many times. There's been 128 million shares of volume that's passed through the stock. Remember, guys, it's an exchange, the stock exchange. People are exchanging shares. Hey, I want it here. Hey, I want it here. Over and over, X, Y, and Z. Volume is coming in, out, and it's on this repeated cycle. So this right here tells me, and because there's so much volume for such a small float, this tells me that the stock can be volatile. The stock can move up and down quickly. Big move up, big move down. And with the hyper scalping style, if I can position myself to actively get in and out over and over, buying low, selling high, buying high, selling higher, I can potentially make money. And so within the price action and the moves up and down, there are certain patterns that we can recognize that are obvious over time, right? And so here I'm going to focus on two of them primarily. Right? So initially there's a red to green. If we even zoom in down here, initially there's a red to green, right? The stock is weak, even within this bigger context of the red to green, there's a smaller V-shaped red to green here, bit of a double bottom. Granted that this one did fail. I was not watching at this stock, I was watching at FOXO at this time, so I missed all of this. There's a V-shaped red to green, this did not work, it failed. But in the context here, we ended up getting a bigger red to green, more like a U shape, right? More so like a cup U-shaped red to green here. So even just within this area here, we can see there's just already two red to greens here if you're watching closely, right? Now within that, we have the pre-market high and high of day entries. There's also break over VWAP, which is this white line, volume weighted average price. This thing curled up. There's a consolidation here. Granted, the consolidation was a little range bound. And this is where if we can position ourselves low, sell high, or even if we're in a little higher, selling higher, right? But all in all, this break of VWAP is a bit of a bull flag as well, right? The 1 minute candle eventually makes the new high. We rip over this ridge right here. Now the next step is high of day. There's a small baby pullback. Hey, if you did not get in anywhere here, small baby pullback. And this rips up aggressively. I noticed it in the side of my eyes as I was watching FOXO just take off. I'm like, whoa, what happened? I pulled it up, and the stock went up so fast, so quick, that I got hit with a circuit breaker halt. Circuit breakers will happen when a stock moves up too fast, too quickly, and it's really in place so that the market doesn't crash, because this also happens in the equal and opposite direction when stocks are weak. They can just, go down quickly, but instead of going all the way down to zero, they'll get frozen by the exchange for people to have time to think about what's happening and make decisions, right? This happens to individual stocks, and it can also happen to the entire stock market as an aggregate. During the pandemic and COVID-19, the entire stock market was frozen from trading because there was so much fear and doubt. No one knew if the world was going to end. And so the exchange said, hey, we're freezing trading for the rest of the day. That way the stock market just doesn't go to zero, which honestly is a pretty decent system, right? Now, hey, this thing got halted up, Relentless. Where can you potentially buy in a move that is so aggressive? RT, didn't you already miss the entire move? Well, not with scalping. Not with actively getting in and out. And this is where an entry came, right? Well, usually an entry would come, and I'll show you guys this too. So ideally right here, we want to see the stock open up higher, which it did. We got halted up at 535. The stock resumed right here at 591. So about a 40 cents, if my math is any good, 40 cents higher. And this is what we want to see is a dip. And this bottoming tail indicates there's a dip, and then the stock ripped up. But if I play this, I'm gonna play this for you guys to see how this was just madness here. Time 10:08 a.m. It was so aggressive. It was so fast that there wasn't even any time to get in. There was not any time to get in here. Come on. Actually, it was 10 minutes. It was 10 minutes. So here we go. The resumption is about to happen here. We're at 5:35. Can we see that dip and rip? Instead, it just opens and it's just chaos. It just goes. There's resumption. So the open price and the dip that it's showing, I didn't even get to register. I didn't get to see. It didn't even show. But anyhow, what I'm seeing here is 617. Can we drop? Can we pull back? Can we pull back? Instead, it's just 630 and then $7. There was no way for me to get in. There was nowhere for me to get in. Now on the other trade, ideally we want the stock to open up higher, right? On the other resumption, it's going to open up lower. And I bought it instantly. Hold up. Let's look at this again. I think this trade right here is not the trade I want to take moving forward. I want to give the stock more time to make a better decision, I believe, getting perhaps a lower entry. Now, it's going to work out for me, but let's look at this. We're at 709. Here's the resumption. Man, it's just moving so fast. We saw 640, then 680, then 640 again. I'm trying to buy down here, and now I'm going to look for the move back up. So I'm in. It stalled out just for a moment up at 80, man. This is why I sold, you know. There was a little bit of green. You can see it's like and I got a great fill here buying, you know, like I did right around 50. It gets up to 80, high 70s, and like nothing happens. There's a bit of a pause. But notice there's no red hitting the tape. But because it stalled out right there, I'm like, oh, let me get out before this thing comes right back down to 40. You see how fast it's moving. And the moment I sell, and this is why sometimes you have to really be patient with the trade, give it a chance. The moment I sell, it's at 770. Guys, that's the difference between $500 and $2,000 in one trade. So I kind of missed out right there. I missed out. But anyhow, I think moving forward, I did like how I handled this one, but I think maybe waiting just a little bit more. But I mean, hey, I'm not gonna give myself a hard time because in the moment you have to be so fast, so quick. And I mean, just insane, man. I don't want to look at that. I don't want to look at that too often, man. You know, last month a lot of that happened to me where it's like I have such a great entry, man, and then I'm out. So I gotta really, but especially if I'm gonna be using like size. If I'm in 3-4K, I gotta give this thing a chance, or else I'm gonna only make 800, $900 when I should be making 4 or 5,000 on one trade. Gotta give them a chance. Like so tough in that moment to know, man. But hey, like I said, no red was really hitting the tape right there. Gotta see what I can do, right? So that was BTCT. That was one of the resumptions where I made some of my gains. I can also show you guys. I'll show you guys one more trade. This is where I had my biggest loss of the day, man. Actually, you know what? We'll look at it on the chart. I had my biggest loss right up here in this red candle, being ultra aggressive, thinking this thing is going to go to 20, 23, 25. And I bought a dip. I bought a baby pullback off the highs. I literally, the moment I got in, and I'm thinking, hey, my stop here is going to be 50 cents max, worst case scenario. This thing teleported down so fast, so quick. I think I was in around 15 or something. Let's check 11 a.m. time. It came down so fast, so quick that I got blazed. I mean, I got destroyed in this trade here. Was it around 11 a.m.? Hold on. I might have to pull up the video to get the timestamp. MULN. It might have been my last trade. BTCS, BTCT. So 1465. Okay, right here. There it is. Basically in at 16. And out at 13. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. I was up 3,500. And that loss right there wrecked me. Absolutely wrecked me. This is at 11, yeah, at 11 a.m. That loss right there absolutely wrecked me, man. And you know what? There was sympathy momentum, BTCS. This one was halted up. And that loss affected me because this resumption I should have made like, I think I was using 2K size or something. Whatever size I was using, I should have made at least like 70 cents. One trade I missed by a millisecond, and the others were all due to me being a little fearful and hesitant because of the loss I just took. We got to be fearless. We got to be courageous. We got to be brave. We got to just hit the buy button the moment we see an entry, man. Even if we took a big loss. Just like Tim. Tim would slam the desk and say, I got to catch that entry. But he's not, missing the trade. He's one hand still on the buy button, and he's still firing off, right? Firing from the hip. Gotta still get back in. So what saved me here, because I ended up going green to flat, I think up 900 to flat to red. What really got me was a short. I went short, and I should have freaking slammed it, because if these stocks are trading in tandem, sympathy momentum, the other one flushes down $1, and it was right here on this consolidation. They both were consolidating. The other one flushes down $1. I'm like, let me go short. I should have hit the short button like 10 times. What are the odds that this one really continues without the mother of the sympathy not continuing, right? Should have slammed it. But I did make something there. And I also sold it too soon. I sold it like midway down this red candle. And we ended up getting a low of 88. So I could have took 3-4 times the size. This is almost like looking into the future. Like I have to take this with size, especially if there's shares available and shares failed. Got to do better right there. So room to improve. Room to improve. We got to be more aggressive with size overall. We got to not be fearful. Even if we take big losses, we have to step up to the plate and swing. Not like a madman, but with accuracy towards the good setups that we know and love. And at the end of the day, the results will speak. Instead of being up 400 and 2,000, we'll be up 15,000 and 4,000, right? That's the difference. And that's how we get up there to 40, 50K day. It's there. It's there. I can see it. Tomorrow again. Tomorrow, watch out, man. Watch out. I'm coming tomorrow with the quickness, with the aggression, and I accept the risk. I accept the risk. I accept the risk. I know what it means, and I look forward to being great. It's all about being my best self. The best version of me can handle any momentum, any volatility. So I'm going to continue to chase down greatness. My best lap time over and over until it's impossible. There is no ceiling in sight right now, so we're going to keep going. So, in terms of managing risk on these trades, one, we're going to try to be in high probability areas, which helps us negate the risk a little. And then two, we're going to have tight stops always. So shout out to the community as well here today, man. Once again, the community is shining. The Relentless Trading chat room has to be the greatest chat room of all time. There is no higher concentration of profitable traders in one area like this, man. In one chat room like this. Big Tim, one of the other mentors, 23,000. Cactus Rob, one of our very consistent traders, surprisingly red today. But he's been doing extremely well. One of the students, right? Beam, also one of the other students, 15,000 today. Dennis, 1,900. Is this a PR day for Dennis? Maybe. Gambit chat room member, $9,000. Green Dream, 3,000. Mighty Putty, getting it done. Good guy. Everyone with a blue check, you know, I did the video call with them. They shared their screen, myself or Marcelo. And Mighty Putty is one of those guys. Shout out to him down there in Georgia, holding it down. Enzo, process over profits. Enzo, we're proud of you, man. Continue to be great. Continue to size up. Continue to kill it. ZH, process over profits with small size, getting it done. Turtle the collector. Turtle, be sure to reach out for verification. And way to go, man. This looks pretty good. This is an update from Beam. You have myself. You have Shay. You have Big Steve. And by the way, I did lose 300 off the top. There's another stock that came that maybe if I stuck around trading it, I could have added a couple thousand, but I wasn't sure, man. Like, I got in and I took a loss the first trade and I'm like, man, you know, do I want to push it? And I stopped. Big Steve, another one of the students who's also an admin here, 2,500 bucks. You know, one time, Big Steve helps us out managing and moderating the chat room. And one time someone asked Big Steve, hey, have you ever received a check from Relentless Trading, from MMU? And the answer was no, right? But the biggest check that Big Steve has received is having free access to everything that we do, having free access to myself. Big Steve can call, right now, Big Steve can call any one of my 3 cell phones to ask me any question about trading. And that's the payment that Big Steve has gotten. Also he's received the merchandise in every color, right? The Relentless shirts. Shout out to Big Steve, man. Big Steve, we love you. Continue to be great. Continue to thrive. Sam with the small size, getting it done. Mark, getting it done. Marcelo, one of the other mentors here, and 16,000 guys. Just insane stuff. Cool, man, 1,600. D-Trades, who we also had a video call recently. Nicely done. Save. Started the day minus 15,000 to up 24,000. They can't rock with us, man. They cannot hang with the Relentless trading community, man. Save. The big boy. You guys don't even want to see Crispy's P&L, man. Shay, shout out to Shay. Shay getting it done, chat room member. PR day today. I think she had an update of up 1,700. Tex, way to go. Momo bro, and you guys, the list. Gus, Lucas, not Lucas, Jackson. The list goes on. Jackson, shout out to you as well. Jackson absolutely killing it, crushing the game. Jay, green, red, but then back to green. Way to go. Dynasty. Let's see. Small red for Jimmy today in the margin account. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Total profits today, 5 between my IR. Okay, so 2 accounts, but not green. Okay, this is good. Let's see. TC getting it done. Way to go. Process over profits. Nick getting it done. Way to go. Minty, and the list goes on, guys. Mr. Man, shout out to you. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It's been Relentless Trader. Tomorrow again. See you guys. Stay safe, stay green.